Are we live
We are live.
right now?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I gotta
We
put
are
it.
live.
There we go.
That's awesome.
No.
Oh,
And right as we go live, I get the notification that my headset is low on battery.
We love
that's
it.
awesome.
We
Yeah,
love
go ahead
it.
and deal with that. Take your time. It's okay. It's okay. For those who are joining the stream, hi. Those of you who are joining the VOD later, also hi. You deserve a hi as well. We are make a misfit. Okay, go ahead.
Did you push the button?
What?
Remember
What
the
button?
thing that you had to
There's
do
a lot of
last time?
Recording?
That you didn't. Yeah.
Unmuting?
Yeah, recording.
Okay. Sorry, my.
I think we're good. Okay. If we're not good, tell us. Okay.
Please do.
Awesome. do.
I know.
Those of you who are joining us.
We're good.
Okay, awesome. I love it when we're good. I love to hear that. Where was I before I was rudely interrupted by August, who will no longer be at this table? I'm kidding. We are Make a Misfit. We're a big group of normal, calm, collected, orderly, sophisticated individuals, and we promise to never raise hell or cause chaos during our tabletop games. Isn't that right, friends?
Nah.
crave
What the fuck are you
violence.
talking about?
Oh, damn.
Hell nah.
I heard we crave violence. That's right! We're a group of mismatched misfits, so let's start misfitting. I do apologize. 2 games have already happened that a lot of you aren't going to see, but that's okay. I'll tell you what happened. You didn't miss much, and there's more to come, I promise. I'm very excited to tell this story with you guys as I shut my window and you all very loudly hear it. Beautiful. Welcome to Ashwall. That is the world that we are jumping this TTRPG into tonight. It is a game, it is a world, a kingdom of guns and hats and spurs and horses and quick draws, but also undead, magic, cursed gold. This is a very strange and stressful world that our players have found themselves into. A big group of them here have taken up a job with an individual known as Olive Greer, who's the halfling CEO of Olive and Company. The individual is incredibly rich, dare I say, sophisticated. Within one spoon in her estate there is more craftsmanship and gold and time and effort than any one man will see in the history, in their individual existence. It is beautiful and elegant. I said the word twice now. A group of us here took on a job. It is the express opinion of Olive and Company that an individual of Ashwall needs to die. Silas Warnriver, notorious killer and thief. He walks into a town and leaves a burning, ashy city. And it apparently has been impacting the bottom line. Olive Greer has told this group of, I believe it was 4 at the time, that on success of killing Silas Warnriver, they would receive 6 decades of gold. Now that's weird, right? What does that mean? 1 day of gold, 1 decade of gold. Well, here the gold is a little different. I know, got some rules, don't worry. I got you covered. There will be a test at the end. I'm kidding. There's a curse in this land. The gold is cursed, like I talked about earlier. At dawn, 1 gold turns to rusts. I know, gold doesn't rust, but it does here. Until it eventually becomes dust. And if you don't have any gold on you, if you run out of money, you die. The gold takes you. The curse takes your life. And as a sort of cherry on top of all of that, if you die and you have no money on your person, you become... Wait. Pause. If you die and you don't have... Excuse me. It's okay. I know my own rules. If you die and you have no money on your person. Oh my gosh. Okay. 5th time's the charm.
All right.
If you die and you
got
have
this.
money on your person, thank you, Joe. I needed it.
Hey, got it.
If you die and you have money on your person, you become an undead. A zombie, a corpse roaming these lands. As if life wasn't stressful enough in Ashwall. Which means that there's sort of like this culture shift. Gold has become multi-meaning. It means both time and money. So 6 decades means a lot. 6 decades of time. Of not having to chase down anything. To breathe and live. And it is so worth killing Silas Warren River. So much so that Olive Greer even threw in a little extra deal out there at the end there. Greer said that if you make Silas Warren River suffer, you get to throw in an extra decade of gold. So obviously it's clear that Olive Greer has no bias. So off our group went to try and track down Silas Warren River. We don't know where he is, but we know someone who knows where he is. On a traveling circus. Our group takes to the steeds and rides into the sunset until eventually making it to a train. They jump on the train and run into 2 individuals from the circus who happen to be very helpful and ended up joining the party. They found the man they were looking for dead. They tracked down and found out the killer was a member of the Vulture Gang, a brutal gang here within Ashwall. Getting the information of where Silas Warren River is going to be in 3 days before painting the walls with his brains. Kind of brutal, Joe, not going to lie to you, but it was kick ass. Before very quickly coming under siege. Damn, all right. The group very quickly came under siege, under fire from the rest of the Vulture Grid gang on the train. Being fired upon, jumping on top of the train, doing kick-ass kick flips. I don't know. It was cool. Trust me. Eventually, you jumped off the train. And you traveled your way toward where Silas Warren River should be. And it's going to be very easy. You're going to find him. You're going to kill him. And that's going to be the end of the campaign. Right? Right.
Yeah,
it'll be easy.
sure.
Yeah. It'll be no problem.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's Friday the 13th, so I'm down for a TPK. I'm just letting you guys know.
Oh, please.
Tragic.
You say bad, Jake.
This character is so
That wild.
Yep. Yep, I did.
All right, fair
Now
enough.
say it again.
You've already built in fourth wall breaking into my character. Please.
Okay. We might do a TPK. I don't know. I'm feeling generous. Our group travel away from the train into the desert, trying to travel to the ruins of, I believe, an old church or something. It's been long ruined since then. But you know that's where Silas will be. And that's also where the Vulture Gang is putting up this sort of ambush. They're also trying to kill Silas. Who knows what's going to happen? You guys traveled a day and noticed that along with you there was a little wagon, little settler's wagon traveling along with you, about a few miles off on top of the ridge. But you paid no mind. You set camp. The day was long, hot, and windy, till the next day came, and you were under a storm. A sandstorm rapidly approached. I'm going to take a risk, and I'm going to say, Kelsey, could we play something a little tense, a little stressful?
Gotcha.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. August, Jesse is there watching the sandstorm as it approaches rapidly. Something so large should not move that fast. It encompasses the horizon. It will take you, it will take your friends. But it's just a sandstorm, right? I don't know, you get a bad vibe from it. And before you appears a strange woman in front of the sandstorm. She is tall, maybe 7.5 feet tall, under a black cloak. And of the void of the color of the cloak, there are stars, and you swear you see them burn and flare. This woman in this strange cloak removes her hood to reveal a woman with a long, pale face with an arched nose, a soft, stern face. And she tells you things that ties knots in your chest. Let's see, did I have a voice for her? Well, we're making it up. Jesse, you have a choice to make. The sandstorm will take you. And when it does, the choice will come before you. And when you choose, the choice decides whether you live or die. But I'm rooting for you. For the first time in my life, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. It terrifies me and excites me. Good luck. I'm rooting for you. August, is there anything you would like Jesse to say or do before the dream ends?
I think he would ask, "You don't know? How could you not know?" What do you mean?
I wish I could tell you. I've never been surprised, Jesse. And that is the nature of myself. I've never been surprised. But I am now. I hope you surprise me, Jesse. Take heart. Take hope. Because even though I have no sense of the future here, I certainly have a sense of you.
And you're betting on me?
I'm betting on everything. All the time. No, I'm not betting on you, Jesse. For the first time in my existence, I am hoping for you.
I won't let you down.
You blink, and her face changes. And you get this strange feeling in the center of your chest. Her face is not her own. Maybe you're mistaken. Maybe you just were stressed or tired or sleep deprived. But you swear you saw his face where her face was. You know the one. She smiles at you. I know you won't. Before the sandstorm overtakes you. And you wake up from your dream violently. Kelsey, I'm not hearing any music. Is anyone else hearing music?
Yeah.
I am.
I am.
Yeah.
It was very
Oh.
sick.
It was really good.
Ah, well, I'm glad. Oh, it's muted on my end.
Oh.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad it worked
Very
out.
good. Wah, wah.
Goodness gracious.
Dang, guys. Well, I'll watch it back later. I like this music. Let's keep this going. I like this for this scene.
Oh, I gotta tell you, it was perfectly synced. It was intense
Yeah.
when you were intense, and now we got lighter note, and now all of a sudden switched to lighter music. Yeah, it's very good.
It must have been fate. August, Jesse.
Sorry.
Anyway. You're good, you're good. August, Jesse stirs awake. You look out and you see the wind is howling, taking along with it beads of sand. Just in a few hours ago, you watched a man stand in the sandstorm. It turns out the sandstorm was enchanted. It was strange, cursed maybe, to where any individual within the sandstorm would turn to dust and age rapidly before dying. But you escaped. All of you did. You weren't taken by the sandstorm like she said you would. I'm gonna say, for reasons that I cannot express right now, but you will understand later, Kelsey, Daphne is the one that is awake at this moment. All of you are sitting around a fire. You're in an old mine shaft, just at the entrance. The wind is howling. The flames are dancing and creating this sort of like large shadows to move back and forth along the rocky walls here. Wood that you hope will stand the test of time are holding up the walls here. I apologize. You can't help but escape the smell of smoke. Yeah, I like this. Good choice, Kelsey. I like it. Okay, I'm gonna lock in. Kelsey, Daphne watches as Jesse stirs awake. August, what is the facial expression of Jesse right now? What does Daphne see in this moment?
I'd like to think that it's kind of a mix of like intense concern and like the D colon, you know what I mean? Where it's like the shocked face, like the sad kind of like shocked face.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, I have my colon. I don't know. What do you mean by D colon? Now I'm with you. Kelsey, how does Daphne react to this sudden jolt of energy?
She'll be surprised for a second, but then she'll kind of just like scooch over to him and kind of just check over him and see if he's okay.
I think that once he notices that Daphne is awake, would immediately try and like play it off, and uh, would say probably something like, "Oh, don't you worry about me. I was just thinking about the sandstorm. We didn't get out. We almost didn't get out. I'm good. Don't you worry about me."
It was a close call. Mm. But
Yeah,
I
but we
hope you're
made it. We're
better.
here. Sorry?
She just said that she hopes that you're feeling better now and that everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, we'll be good. I caught my breath. Oh.
Yeah, sorry, we have to shuffle around. Excuse me, sorry. Oh, I'm just too big. Oh, sorry. Squeeze through here.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
You guys ever like be on an airplane and then like you're squeezing to your seat, like across the way, and you have to like squeeze by people, or like in a movie theater?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or just
This is
like
what's
a
happening.
Yep,
Right
yep.
Yeah, that's exactly the vibe. Ozmore, get out of here! What the hell? All right.
Sorry.
I apologize for
Got
the
it.
interruption. You may continue. It's all good.
So was it just a bad dream?
Oh yeah, I get those sometimes. Don't you worry about it though.
Well, if you say so.
The two
Why are
of
you
you
awake?
sit here
Oh.
in this. As you're mid sentence, Jesse. Why are you awake? Before the corner of your eye, you see something strange. You look out of the entrance of the mine shaft out into the roaring sandstorm at night. And you see three figures. Tall woman in a black cloak. You see a woman. It seems to be a satyr, part sheep, and a man, a human. Jesse, it's you and Daphne and the woman. They're like talking to each other, you think. It's hard to tell. Daphne, you see this too. And the woman seems to have something in her hand. Before she gives it to you, Daphne, it's something, it reflects light, whatever it is. It has like a shine to it. Before a large gust of wind blows by and covers the group with sand, and they're not there anymore.
Was
August,
that
how
just
does
me or did you get too?
No, I saw that
Say that
too.
one more time. Oh, sorry. That didn't realize that was role play.
We are all cutting out right now.
um, should we be worried about that?
Ah, I'd say more intrigued.
Mm,
Um, can we like see any details about like what the woman gave Daphne? Besides that it's shiny?
You know, I think that's a fair question to ask. I wanted this to be vague because I really love fucking with you guys. But you know what? You guys deserve. If you want to roll, you can roll. But I'm going to make this hard because it is night during a sandstorm far away. Uh, both of you can roll me instinct checks in order to attempt to see this. It's going to be a tough one. I want to make it hard on
Okay.
purpose because I like being a dick about it. So I'm going to call this a DC 22.
You suck.
Love you guys.
I got a 7.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah, I think you see when you open your eyes, Daphne.
Oh,
Is that with hope or with fear?
That was with hope.
That was with hope. That was awesome. So you get hope, and you look, and you see 3 people. That was cool. Gosh,
I
you
was
rolled
one
so
away from
bad.
critting. I was one away from critting. I'm so mad.
I'm so sorry. That means nothing to me.
I got a 19 though.
A 19. Wow. So you also see things. And you see them super good. Your eyeballs, like you take like this spray and you spray your eyeballs and you rub them. It's like they're all clean, right? And you look out and you see exactly what I described. You wish you could have seen more. After the moment passes, you're frustrated with yourself that you weren't able to ascertain what that object was. You feel like it would have been important, but it's gone. The moment has passed. August, how does Jesse respond?
I think in tandem with the dream he had, and with that vision, I think he would ask Daphne, do you carry any not sigils, but any fancy objects with you?
Oh, I do have this broken compass. Is that what you mean?
Sure. When
Yeah.
where'd you get it?
Um. Uh, I think I picked it up from. Oh. Uh. I guess my monkey gave it to me.
Cosmo, ain't it?
Yeah, Cosmo.
He just found it somewhere?
Yes.
Well, I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day, so I guess a broken compass is right sometimes.
It's right in 2 directions.
Anything else with you?
I have some throwing knives. I have a gun. I don't really carry much with me.
Makes sense. Sorry, someone just walked in the room. So I feel very awkward right now. Oh.
It's all good. Kelsey, I think we can cut the music at this moment. I think the tension sort of slowly dies down. Take your time. They're sort of like this. What has just happened that fills the space? Is there anything either of you would like to do before we end the scene?
I think since we're starting to see some hallucinations, we should get water.
That makes sense. I think Jesse would be a little bit more paranoid about it, but wouldn't necessarily want to show it. So I think he'd be kind of looking around, seeing if there's anything wrong with the mine shaft, or I don't know, any more visions that happen.
I'm so sorry. Could you repeat that for me real quick?
Yeah, I think that Jesse would be a little paranoid just based off of the things that have been happening. So I think he'd be trying to look kind of covertly in the corners of the mine shaft, making sure that he's fully encompassing his surroundings.
Take in the space. You look around, and you make sure you don't miss anything, like you just did. You do your best. And I think that based on your passive perception, I think you do a pretty good job of feeling the ground. Hearing the sounds of the crackling fire, the smoke, the wind in the distance, the sandstorm, the sound of drops of water falling down stalactites down the way. You try to find your significance in everything, but you can't find it. Sometimes you are just going to be left in the dark, Jesse. I'm sorry.
Ooh, you whore.
Damn! Well,
Got
after
it.
that wonderful note, the two of you keep watch for the rest of the night. No other significant conversation happens, though there's likely some small talk. Is there anything either of you would like to do before we move on?
I don't think so.
I think I'm all good.
Awesome. We're all content living in the dark. We move on. Time goes by. People wake up. And you all look inside your coin purses and your bags, whatever you leave your gold in. And you watch a single piece of gold rust. And then the rust keeps going. It spiders across the small coin before it turns to dust in your hands. All of you mark that you have lost one gold as the dawn approaches. All of you get the benefits of a long rest, although I'm pretty sure all of you are pretty much all healed up and such. And the new day approaches. Later today, you're going to be at the ruins. You pack up your things, and you go. Outside are the dunes of the desert. You take your steeds, and you ride. And very quickly, about an hour out, you see a small wagon. The large cloth that folds over, like a settler's wagon. It is half buried in the sand. You recall the individuals who were traveling alongside you in this wagon for the last few days. They're, you know what? You guys wouldn't know this, but I'm going to say it anyway. The father left and was the person who turned to dust in the sandstorm. Joe, what does Slew do in this moment? Do you stop? Do you pause?
So we're riding through, and as we're passing, we see a pile of dust. What do we see exactly?
I apologize. You see the settler's wagon. Um, it is half buried in the sand. It's a little east of you. It would take maybe 2 minutes to, by horseback, make it over.
Yeah, I'm gonna start steering my horse a little off track so I can ride over to him.
The heat beats down on you. The stand kicks up behind your horse. Make it over to the small wagon. The cloak is torn. That's funny. It could be a pony. I don't know. That's up to Joe. Joe, are you riding a pony or are you riding a big old horse? Because both are funny. As a 3 foot tall man.
My horse is bigger than all of yours.
He's riding the biggest horse, guys. To screw you. On the back
And
of
yes,
the
I am
biggest
compensating.
horse. Amazing.
Good for you, Joe.
Good for you. You jump off the back
Beat you
of
to
your
it,
horse,
X.
nearly
Oh,
sprain. Beat you right to the joke. You jump off the horse, nearly sprain your ankle. Halfling individual, very dapper, alongside your cane. You make it over. You see inside. It was clear that there was an attempt at making this small wagon into a shelter from the storm, and it didn't seem to work very well. Two individuals, very elderly man and woman, inside, rest against the sides of the cloth. Inside, you see small boxes of supplies, pushed and bordered up to both sides to attempt to stop any sand from getting in. They are withered like prunes. They are breathing heavily. They're elderly. These are some of the oldest people you've ever seen. They're gonna fall over and die soon. And you, Joe, Slew had a dream last night, and you were told this would happen. These people are gonna die soon, and you know it. And you have a job to do.
Slew's going to straighten out his ascot. Walk forward slightly so he's in view. Coughs a little to gain their attention.
You gain
Takes a
their
breath.
attention. They look up at you. You are ready. I'd ask what kind of music you'd like. We have a few vibes. We have happy and sad and chill and action. Would you like music? You don't have to have it.
I'd like if you have something more like mysterious with a happy upbeat would be perfect, but
Kelsey, do we have that? If not, then we can just go with no sound.
I think I could do happy. I think I have something happy for that.
All right, let's try it. I think it'll be fun.
if you have nothing else, if you have something for like grandiose or like a build up to something important, that also works. Yeah, this is definitely not the vibe. I'll just do it no music. All right.
In the background, there's like 3 people who drive. Yeah, in like PT Cruisers, they're like driving. No, anyway.
All right.
On horseback, and they're like playing music loudly. They just. Anywho, you get their attention. Their eyes look up at you. What do you do?
So he's going to take a breath before he picks up his cane, holds each end of it in his hands, and you see as it almost seems like space warps as he folds his cane in half, clapping each end together before pulling his hands back, and what looks to be a book opens before him. And from this book shoots out glowing, floating, what appear to be dream catchers, circling him and the family. I stand before you now, not as God, angel, or savior, but as a man to tell a story of what's to come. As he does this, the background seems to fade. And as he says, God, light shines behind him, angel, wings, or savior, a halo. But as a man to tell you a story of what's to come, all of it disappears, and we fade into darkness. Your body will fail you, and you will feel fear. If not for yourself, at least for your family. But take heart, for after that fear comes hope and rest, as a light appears in the darkness, and we seem to be falling towards it. As that feeling overtakes you, do not scream or rage against it, but fall calmly into it, knowing that you will not be alone. You will go to where your father and his father's father now rests, where fear and pain will be nothing but a memory with which will fade in time. And then we will appear in a lush forest with what appears to be plenty, with enough to satisfy someone for the rest of eternity. In this place, you may love and be loved by all those you will meet, a place where there is not a need for anger, jealousy, hatred, or pain. I tell you now, in that place, you will experience true love and happiness, untainted by such things. If you think a place like that is only a dream, then I tell you now that it is not a dream. You are merely in a nightmare, and it is time to wake up. And he is going to slam his book closed as the illusion fades.
The two of them look at you. Soft smiles. A tear rolls down one of their eyes, the man. And for a moment you're waiting for a reaction, maybe an applause or laughter. But instead they just stare at you until you realize that they've moved on. They are no longer here.
And as I notice they're fully gone, Slew's just gonna mutter under his breath, "Lucky bastards."
Slew. You did really great work. I'm really impressed.
Well, that is an entertainer's job to entertain. And I'm damn good at my job.
I couldn't agree more. The group of you watched this scene in awe, or however you want your characters to react, but it was certainly a magnificent mirage before you. The two corpses in front of you, you notice a small jitter and shift. Joe, how does Slew respond?
Slew is gonna pull out his rusty revolver and dome both of them before double tapping in the heart. Be still and never wake to this nightmare again.
The shots ring out into the scene. A violent crescendo. I wish I knew that word. A violent, yeah, thank you. A violent ringing breaks out what was once a peaceful moment. They had to die. You didn't want two corpses tearing into you. You have a moment before they wake up again. At this point, let's bring some other players into this. Audrey, what does Fontana do looking at this scene?
she would be looking at it like with pity, but also awe at Slew's ability and kindness in this very depressing moment. And but then as soon as she sees that, Slew shoots them, and she realizes, that gives her time, she's gonna start uh searching at least one of the bodies for gold, and will say, "Anyone want to help me with the other one? They're gonna wake up soon."
Count me in.
All right, the two of you search, and like normally, I'm gonna have you roll. You know what? It'd be kind of fun. I'm gonna have you roll, and that decides like
Oh.
how much money. The two of you can roll. What is it to check bodies? That's got to be intelligence. People hide gold on their bodies in order to stop people from stealing. So I think intelligence is fair. Is like, can you outsmart them when they were alive?
Yeah,
Go
knowledge.
ahead and the two of you go ahead and roll knowledge checks. There's no DC here. The higher you roll, the more you'll get. Don't expect a ton.
What if
That
I
was a
crit?
12. What?
Hey, so do you ever like regret the things you say out loud? Did you really crit, Audrey?
I did. I really did.
Sure. Sure. What the fuck do I do here? All right, listen. I have to be
You get
realistic with the
100
scene.
days.
There's only so much money that these travelers will have. I know for a fact that they are new and recent to Ashwall, new settlers who were violently put into the realities of the curse very early on. But sometimes you get lucky. Jesse, you rolled a 12. There was a gold. And Audrey, you rolled a crit. Well, I'm going to say, Audrey, you were searching the woman. You find a small doll, and you notice with the clothes. Jesse, you quickly notice this too, but Audrey, because you rolled higher, you get to learn first. The clothes that they have, they don't fit right, and you realize that these two were kids before the sandstorm aged them. And on the little girl,
Oh,
there was 6 gold, and she's also wearing a little necklace, and it's beautiful. And it's warm. Like strangely warm. What do you do?
I'll take the necklace, and I'll. This is gonna sound weird and kind of cryptic. Is it a familiar warmth?
I would say you felt this warmth before. It's not what you're thinking, although I really fuck with that
Uh huh.
thinking. Uh, it is instead you've held magical items before, and this feels it. It feels a little different. There's something a little. It's like a little warmer than you're used to. But
Yeah.
most magic items start how to like radiate the sort of. It's a strange kind of warmth. It tingles to the ends of your fingers like an electricity.
Huh. Well, I'll pocket. How much gold did you say? Did you say there was gold? Or
6.
did I just make 6? Okay. I'm gonna pick this up in my hand, knowing that it's magical. I'll turn to Ashwin and say, do you have any means of identifying what this is? It seems magic from what I can tell."
That's a good question, Jacob.
Nate, you are a professional at this. With your experiences, I'm not even going to have you roll because this is really easy. From the naked eye, you could tell it was magical. Hell, you probably saw it was Audrey, excuse me, before Fontana even realized. But you let her have her moment. You take it into your hands and you close your eyes, and you know how to do this because you've done this a lot as an appraiser. You take it and you take your thumb and you sort of like go along the edges of the like iron, like string, the band part of it, and as well as your thumb runs across the pendant in the center. And as you do, you close your eyes and you focus on your soul at the center of your chest, and you feel for the small movements. You feel for it, and you can tell. It's like your soul is dancing, or really more like your soul is a pen as it writes with a smooth calligraphy the description of what the magic item does. You can tell that by the way that your soul isn't feeling any kind of connection toward the stars, that the origin isn't coming from an arcane wizardry build. This is something different. You can tell by the warmth, the strange warmth that is uncharacteristic of any other magical item, that this was just made. This is hot off the press. You also don't feel any kind of connection to anything else. You can tell that this is kind of the source of one cause, and one only cause of the current context, that the woman was a sorcerer, and that subconsciously she created a magical item before she died. Maybe she was inspired by a story. The magical item's effects are as follows, and I will send the message to you all. The item is called Ali's Sanctuary. Once per dawn, you can reduce your stress by 1 if you hug a creature you your family. Nate, what does Ashwin do in this moment?
After like looking it over, he'll hold it back to Fontana and be like, "Yeah, it's definitely magical. It feels brand new. I don't know how much it's worth. I don't really deal with stuff like this."
You have any idea what it does?
It seems like it feels like, how do I put this? Like a good cozy day with people you love. You know? It gives
Yeah.
you that feeling. That feeling.
Interesting.
I don't know if I explained that very well.
Well, I'm sure it'll be useful. Whether to sell or to use ourselves. And she'll take it back from you if you'll give it back.
Yeah.
What does the necklace look like, Jacob?
Whatever fits your character's aesthetic, or whoever ends up taking it.
Cool. I will pocket it for now.
I do think that's like really interesting for a magic item of this nature, where it changes to fit whoever is holding it at the time.
I feel like in the nature of magic that magic really cares about aesthetics. And so like if you take on a magic item, I feel like it shifts a little bit based on the owner. Like it did too. So I feel like that's fair that it sort of has an outward expression of the inward attunement. I don't know. Fun lore building moment. The rest of you see
Especially a wild
go ahead.
magic created item.
Oh, absolutely. Very chaotic. And we love chaos here at Make a Misfit. Subscribe.
Quick promo.
If you like chaos,
I love this
subscribe to our
moment.
channel.
I mean, you can't.
I know.
We can't.
Sponsored
No,
by
subscribe on this.
better-
Follow.
You better not drop
Hey
Goblet
guys,
of
make sure you
Chaos in here.
subscribe and smash that like button.
Oh God. All right, guys, I'm selling out. The second we can get like 1 cent from I'm kidding.
We're not even making money.
I know,
No.
we're not.
I think we need like 300 followers in order to make anything.
And that's happening
So follow,
tonight.
guys, follow.
kidding.
Share with your friends.
Yep. Hey, tell your mom, tell your grandma, tell your grandfather, get your whole church in here. Subscribe.
All right, so that was fun selling out. Now we'll move back to the moment. It is hot. 2 people was just shot in the head and in the heart, and are no longer corpses. Or excuse me, they're very corpses, but they're no longer zombies, which is nice. The moment is strange. The mourn the loss of strangers. The heat is beating down on you. You still have a long ways to go to travel ahead. There's also a bunch of boxes inside this caravan here. Excuse me, wagon. August, what does Jesse do in this moment?
There's a lot of boxes.
Storage.
Sorry.
Yeah, like satchels, barrels, small. Yeah, I mean, like, clearly these people were moving stuff with this wagon here.
I would like to search it to see anything that happens or anything that exists there.
Yeah. I'll say the group of you, or whoever wants to, can look through, and you sort of like look through. There's food and water that you all pocket as much as you can, and find that very valuable, and you don't have to worry about that as much here. August, Jesse sort of like sees this small crate about twice the size of like a shoebox, and sort of this like rectangle of wood, and notices there's sort of like a heavy bolted lid on it. You jam something in between the lid, and you push down hard and create this sort of like pulley lever situation that breaks off the top. And you look down, and you see 4 bottles of moonshine.
I think that he'll kind of like stare at it for a second because it's not what he was expecting to find. He wanted to find gold.
Well, I would
Reno's not
argue,
here.
August. Yeah, unfortunately, sorry about that.
Moonshine's
However,
expensive, bruh.
yeah, I was gonna say, Jesse, you know this more than anyone. Let's see. Each one of those bottles is 7 gold to the right bar, and there's 4 of them.
That's true. I think that he, in a light, as light of a manner as possible, would kind of like raise one of the bottles and gesture it to like show it off to the rest of the group and be like, "Now, are you all partnering, folks, or you want to sell this for some gold?"
I say sell it for gold.
Gold for me.
All right. Well, next time we find, let's sell them. And I think that there's
With
an
what's
obvious-
traveling capacity there?
Oh,
I mean,
We don't
Reno
really
can just
have
carry
anything
it.
to.
Reno's our pack mule for this campaign. this
yeah, he's
session.
not here, so he
Because
gets
he ain't
to- he gets
riding no horse. He is the
punishment.
horse, so we can just carry it in his arms.
Hell
For context
Yeah,
viewers, Osmar is playing a Oz is playing a centaur, which is awesome, which means part horse individual. And unfortunately, he can't be here tonight. And I think that the reason why his character's gone nonverbal today is because he's a pack mule and is worried too much about keeping all the inventory together than to be able to input the game.
Yeah. So if Reno is our pack mule, I think that Jesse would be a little hesitant, um, but he would kind of stiffen up and give it to Reno and be like, yeah, or yeah, let's sell these when we pass the next town.
I believe Reno in this moment would nod at you the most nonchalant nod humanly possible, and throws the 4 jugs into a pack, pack mule style. And the group of you are there with your supplies. You're set up, you're ready. Do you leave? Is there anything any of you would like to do before we move on?
I am good, but
All right.
Can I
I'll leave that up to y'all.
I'm
can I
gonna.
walk up to the corpses and kind of like send a little prayer to the gods?
Sure. You walk up and you close your eyes. Any particular, or just kind of all?
Just, for their safe journey to the other side.
Sure. You close your eyes. I'm going to create into an existence a little bit of lore. I'm going to say there's a small prayer that exists as sort of like a script that's said the same way, at the same context through multiple cultures, praying a small prayer to the great guide of truth, sort of like angel of death, who guides in souls to the other side. You've said it a million times. You remember times in which your members of your family have said this under your breath. You open your eyes and you feel a calm. Like it makes more sense. Even the scene that you saw in front of you that was intense and had this like emotional roller coaster now has a bookend. Take a hope.
Ooh, yippee.
Joe, what is Slew? Joe, what is Slew doing right now?
After ensuring everyone who's done with everything they needed to do in the cart is backed away from it, he'll say I pray you forever never fall asleep to this dream again. And then he's gonna throw a fireball into the midst of it to burn the bodies and the wagon and then return it to the dust of which it came.
I like that a lot. The 6 of you travel out. You take onto your steeds and you ride into the sun.
I'm
Into
gonna
the rising
what I
sun.
said before. Sorry.
Yeah, please.
I will
Please.
say before we leave, I will hand a gold to each member of the party, keeping one for myself because I found 6.
I love it. Everyone go ahead and add +1 gold to your inventories. I'm going to remember and tell Oz to do that later. I love communism. I love it. And I'm so glad we're keeping that alive. As you distribute the gold, all you get yourselves together. Slew, you take the end of your staff, and there's this small explosion of fire and heavy smoke. You take upon yourself, you get back on top of your steed, which is just so tall, and the 6 of you ride off. And the camera stays on the wagon as all of you leave, and it just sits there, burning and on fire. And the days go by, and it turns to ash and dust, and a small breeze blows over the scene, and the ash mixes with the sand as if nothing happened here. All of you travel and there, thankfully, is no chaos or fear, or there are no burglars, there are no gang members, there are no monsters. You are just traveling. Maybe 2 or 3 more hours. Up and down dunes, alongside rocky mountains, cacti fly by. Till eventually you make in front of you are some ruins. Kelsey, great call. Love it. In front of you are the ruins. It seems to be a pretty large space here. Like you can imagine what was once a large and grand space. You're not sure what was the purpose of this place. You can see where once there were tall walls are now small fences or just rectangles in the space. Sand has buried a lot of the floor, but occasionally there are these divots where this sort of like a gray stone peeks out from among it. At the center of the space here, there is I'm going to say 20-foot tall statue of maybe a woman with the head of a snake, wearing rags, holding a long staff. All of you, especially you, Jesse, you've seen many of these statues. Yeah, Fontana, you as well. But really, all of you have seen this individual. This is Metsagia, the Archfey of Ashwall, who disappeared a long time ago. There are cracks in the stone, and there is black ink violating the statue. There are like intentional tear marks under the eyes along the sides of the snake, and across the her stomach. In common English, "You don't belong here," is written out. Along the base of this statue here, you see some hieroglyphs. There's some slight decay to where like one of the hieroglyphs is, you're not sure what it is. On the inside this sort of central area, there's sort of like the one room where the statue is, where clearly where a room was, which is now much more of an open space. Along the left wall, you see a plank of wood leaning into the wall, almost too far into the wall. That makes, I don't know, it's strange. You'll have to investigate further. And next to that is a bit of an opening. Half of the ceiling has either crumbled away or is now the floor. But there's another half of what was once a grand flat ceiling held up with these crumbling columns. Along the walls here are many hieroglyphs, as well as these sort of hieroglyphs of these strange-looking individuals who are humanoids, but with the heads of... I'm so sorry. Black hyenas. There we go. The hieroglyphs are very Egyptian in nature. Lots of... oh my gosh. Beetles. And... what's the thing that cuts the wheat? It's killing me.
Sickle.
Like a
Scythe?
scythe?
It's smaller than that, but you know what I'm talking about. Egyptian
sickle,
stuff.
a sickle.
You all can imagine in
A
your
sickle.
head.
blade?
Sickle.
Sickle.
Thank you.
Sickle.
Thank you
Oh,
so
okay.
much. Nate, I'm in love with you.
Thank you.
Sickles and other such unks, right? All along, as if, like, yeah. as if it was a themed birthday party. There's sort of like this Egyptian intense culture here in this decayed building. Audrey, what does Fontana do in this moment?
Immediately, treasure hunter brain kind of kicks in. Um, she's seen many a ruin in her time, and she will go up to the hieroglyphs and see if she can translate them.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. You walk over, you've translated a few in your time, but it is not easy. This is basically a dead language. I'm gonna call this. Yeah. Okay. You're actually kind of good at this. These aren't the most difficult hieroglyphs. They're kind of common. I'm gonna call this a DC 13 roll. It's got to be knowledge, right? Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
to be.
And if you'd like, you can put instinct behind it, or excuse me, an experience behind it. Guys, I know how to speak words. I swear. I swear. You have to believe me.
I think you
Shut
can.
up.
Anyway, yeah, I'll spend a hope. Which one is it? Add treasure hunter to this because it feels kind of important.
So helpful.
Y'all aren't gonna believe me again, but I
Oh my
swear I
God.
crit.
Oh,
I can take a picture.
Jacob's dead.
It's the same.
wait, hold up.
Jacob has had a heart attack.
I rolled 2 3s before. I don't know if these dice are rigged or not. I could take a
Hey,
picture. I swear I'm not lying.
Players, you guys are critting too much. It's not fair to the game, and it's kind of messed up. I need you guys to lock in. Ugh, you guys are
We
so
are
rude.
locked in.
All right.
Brother, I didn't invent the game. Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
I can hate the player if I want to. I have free will. I'm kidding. I love you, Audrey. You
Yeah.
roll and you crit, and so you walk up to these hieroglyphs, and you take
That's
out
the
sort
ninth
of like
crit,
a
by the way.
small. Crying. I secretly love it. You open up your book, and you take through, and you look through. You've taken notes on hieroglyphs. Strong set. With the crit, I'm going to say it's very quick. In fact, a lot of these hieroglyphs here, you know off the top of your dome. You know, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit. This is what it was supposed to say. Mitsukiya's first blessing. And then there's more to this message, but those hieroglyphs have been lost to time. But because you crit, and because I'm feeling weirdly generous, I'm going to give you a little bit more than you were supposed to get.
I was homeschooled. Dead languages are my thing.
Yeah. And you're just so good at this, and that bums me out. That's okay. This is going to be awesome. You look through Metsugiya's first blessing, and then you see the rest of the hieroglyphs, and you look at the edges, and you're able to ascertain what those hieroglyphs would have been if they were complete. If time and storms didn't erode what was once here at the base of the statue. I'm going to give you an incomplete message here, but you certainly get more than I wanted you to have, which is Metsugiya's first blessing, and I'm improvising this. Let's say I'm going to give you from the earth there, and that's it. Metsugiya's first blessing, from the earth there, ...
Interesting. Well, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Mitsugiya, but Archfey of Ashwall, I'm sure y'all know. But it says Mitsugiya's first blessing from the earth there, and then the rest is just gone. Does that mean anything to anyone?
It won't. Probably. Joe, you
Describe
can go ahead.
describe the pictures again.
They were hieroglyphs that sort of like translate into a language. Are you asking what
Okay.
the statue looks like?
Yeah, okay, so there's just the statue and then the hieroglyphs. There's no other depictions?
In the room here, there is the statue. In black ink, there is that message, "You don't belong here." There's the hieroglyphs, and then along the walls there's that plaque strangely pushed into the wall there. And there are hieroglyphs all about the space, but Audrey Fontana quickly dismisses them. You quickly and understand and put together that a lot of the walls here depict very common cultural stories from the time of the Torn. The Torn, in case you guys don't know, most of you know this. The Torn are the individuals who were here before the settlers. Uh, um, the bald hyena, black hyena, humanoids who were here before the war, and before. Really, that this sort of like speaks into the statue and the black ink. There was a war, and many lives were lost. And the Wildflower Kingdom, specifically the Archfey, his name is Lilac. After negotiations with neighboring kingdoms, it was agreed upon that individuals from his kingdom could come into Ashwall and take up residence and hopefully find their fortune in gold, which was in the earth at the time, only to quickly find that the gold was cursed, which is likely what the black ink is referring to. A lot of you like quickly. I think I've lost the plot as to why I was speaking in the place, but I hope I've answered your question.
The hieroglyphs and the stories, and I'll just like spit that out because I can translate it fairly quickly. And I'll just be like, yeah, those are
Oh,
stories about.
right. That's what I was saying. Yeah, on the walls all around here are stories that you've seen all the time. Within the Torn culture, there's clearly like two stories that have been like repeated in like literally almost every single building. So there's often like these string of hieroglyphs that you can sort of like turn off your brain because you know what it is, you know what the story is, and it is of no value to the current context.
Gotcha.
Well, Salu is gonna take out a kind of notebook type thing and start writing out the stories to add this collection
like it.
later.
Man, this is fun. I like this. I think you get a sense of, well, Fontana has to tell you because they're not. You have to be translated, but I'm sure Fontana would happily tell you of these stories.
Oh yeah, he's
of
a big nerd about this kind of stuff.
yeah, so nerdy, like it's super awkward. And there's this clearly, I don't know, grim fairy tale aspect to a lot of these stories of like they're clearly lessons learned. There's also small like tips on how to farm embedded in the stories. Like it's an attempt subtly trying to impose this sort of farming wisdom. Yeah, they seem to be very happy people. Joe, how does Slew like react to these stories?
I mean, he just has more of like an academic interest in them. Like, he doesn't really, oh, maybe not even realistically an academic interest. He's interested in them just because they're stories. He's recording them for the sake of no story should ever be forgotten. So even if he
That's cool. I
finds
like
like
that a lot.
stories that he doesn't even enjoy or he thinks are like redundant, he's still going to record them.
At one point, I'm so sorry, my internet was weird. At one point, Fontana and Slew, you guys make it to a wall. It's like, oh, this is a new story told before, and you're excited and you write down, and you find out that the section of the wall that would finish the story has long been lost to time, and you are left with an incomplete story. One without an ending.
As I'm looking down at the book with the unfinished ending, I look up at Fontaine and say, "Man, this is the best part. You can make your own." And he'll start just off of the rest of the beats of the story and all the other stories surrounding it. With the understanding gained from them, he's going to write his own ending to the story.
Well, I
And
can't
it
wait
is
to hear how it is.
Sorry, what'd you say, Audrey?
Oh, Fontana will say, I can't wait to hear how it ends. Giving him like a slight smile.
the two of you have this moment. August, what does Jesse do in this moment?
I think that I don't think he would recognize the hieroglyphics. But I think he would be more fascinated by, or not fascinated, but taken aback by the statue, with the tears and the words like "you don't belong here" written on the body. So I think that he would be kind of just like circling the statue, taking in the details, kind of like wondering like who would do this, like why someone would do that, and more so like that's what he's interested in.
I think that you, Jesse, are worldly enough. You've spent enough time in this world and on the streets, and especially in the Oasis where there's a lot of statues of Metsugia. Just to be frank, there aren't a lot of torn left behind. And you've seen almost this exact graffiti before. Oftentimes, this kind of graffiti is left behind by people who, for whatever reason, find this old culture inappropriate or misplaced.
Guys,
And,
Jacob's being racist
believe
again.
that this land. Hey, no, it's my NPCs through me. No. Yeah, so some people in Ashwall, you might be shocked, are a little racist.
Whoa, what?
No way.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, gasp!
What the
Do you guys
freak?
love how I was like trying to like subtly move around the subject?
Really subtle. Your messaging is really subtle, Jacob.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The group of you take in the space here. Nate, I'm going to say Ashwin sort of sees out of the corner of the eye this sort of like plank of wood weirdly pushed into the wall, and that's my sub. That you guys should look at that. Nate, how does Ashwin react to that?
I mean,
You're so subtle, Jacob.
Since basically the god of this world is telling me to look at the plank, I'll go look at the plank.
Thanks.
Press X to interact.
Press X
Hey,
to
I was gonna
interact.
do it. No one else.
Oh, nearly said Son for a second. Slew is
Whoa.
going to feel almost like a tap on his shoulder from an otherworldly entity that may or may not be stretching through the fourth wall. And he looks over and he sees that a plank of wood is colored differently from the surrounding walls. Almost like it's interactive.
Wait, I walk close
It's like
to
those really old animation.
I walk close to the plank and then
where, like, the background
and
is
E to
painted.
interact.
Go ahead.
I walk close to the plank and
Yep,
E to
yep.
interact
Yeah.
pops up. Okay.
You know, I'm not running game through you guys anymore. I'm just
come
like
on, you
there's
love
like an
us.
imaginary table that I'm throwing up and like all the cards and stuff over. You walk over
onto
and
the
you
side.
You walk over and you press E, and your character sort of like leans forward and goes, as you look at this plank of wood, recognize that it seems to be pushing into the wall in a strange way. There is a hieroglyph of a beetle that's being pushed into the wall, and the plank of wood there is sort of like keeping it in place. Nate, what does your character do in this moment?
He's gonna be like, "Oh, pretty picture. Is there any more behind it?" And then take the wood off because he's a dumbass and he didn't think it through.
Can I
You
add
take
that
the
Montana was like standing at a distance and like in slow motion was like, no.
Yeah, you reach your hand up. No. Time slows down as you move the piece of wood, and what is clearly now to your eyes is a button sort of gets unpressed as the beetle sort of emerges from the stone. And you hear awful things. You hear the sounds of clicking and stone gears whirring against stone. Like you hear the sound of like a metal ball fall and sort of like roll across a track, sort of like around you.
What are these things called? I know what you're talking
Potentially,
about.
sort of like strange mechanisms, until eventually you hear a click and you're like, when's the spears gonna shoot out of the walls or something? And you see a section of wall move. There is a piece of wall behind a wall that sort of like just moves to the right and then stops and then moves forward to the point where it sort of like becomes flush. Sort of like two pieces of wall becomes one long wall due to this sort of like strange contraption.
I didn't do it.
You actively
Ashwin,
did.
I I I, I thought
I
there were.
thought I taught you better.
I thought there might have been more of the pretty pictures behind it. I didn't do it. What?
If you want pretty pictures, look
Ashwin,
around.
Ashwin, she's gonna grab him by his shoulder. Ashwin, I love you dearly. But next time you do something like this and you want to see some pretty pictures, open a picture book. And secondly, if there's a precarious looking mechanism, call me over first. This is kind of my forte.
Okay, sorry. At least we
All
didn't
right.
get
I'm just glad
hurt.
you didn't die. At least you did. At least you did it on this and not a booby trap. This is what we call a lesson.
Right. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
And she'll like ruffle his ears.
As you turn around after scolding him for his reckless actions, you see Slew has already walked in.
Great. I'm
I
not the only
apologize.
stupid
So
one here.
it's I think I described this wrong. It's more instead of like a hallway opening up, it's more like it closed. Like by unpressing the button, the wall sort of like moved into position to where it just became a really long wall, where there was already an entrance there. But you can press the button and walk back there.
I'm confused. Is it closing off a section, or
Yes.
what is it trying to do? Okay.
So I unpressed the
Is
button
it
and
would
it
it close
closed.
off?
So the space is very open. Lots of walls have crumbled. So this didn't really open or close. Like you can literally walk around this entire section of wall here. Uh, it didn't do anything of particular use, I guess you would say. Really, just there were these two sections of wall, and there was a space in between them. And then the button was unpressed, and now there isn't a space in between them, as if an ancient door was just closed. And if this were a big building, that would have been a cool secret door.
Ah, I see. Yeah, Slew's gonna press the button again.
You press the button again, and the Once again, you hear this sort of like strange Indiana Jones style clicking and moving of parts beyond you, and you watch as the wall sort of like move back, and then behind one of the walls, again the area is open back to where the scene starts.
I'm
So,
gonna go ahead.
Neat.
in the if we could kind of orient ourselves here. So in the center is the statue. Where were Fontana and Slew looking at the hieroglyphs? Kind of just everywhere?
I hope this doesn't screw up the stream. Nate,
Wait,
does this
wait.
screw anything up?
What?
Okay, cool. I have just an activity open.
Oh. No, I have.
The audience doesn't need to know. It's fine.
I have a streamer mode on
It's just-
Discord, so.
For my
All right, you
cat.
guys. Beautiful. All right, so you see all those tiny dots? Those are you guys. There's a statue in the middle. Do you see this like wall and there's like an open here?
Yes.
Okay. You press the button and it goes like this. You unpress the button and it goes like this. Any questions?
No.
No, I was just asking if it's
Mm.
different from the area that we were already looking at. You know what I mean? Because they were already looking at hieroglyphics.
You've been basically. Oh, I see what you're saying. You guys are basically in this sort of like central chamber this whole time. There isn't much. You haven't really expanded the exploration farther into the deeper outer edges of this open spaced ruins. But yeah, this sort of like central area is here. Did I answer your question correctly?
I think so.
Okay, cool. Is there anything
Fontana
anyone...
will
Go ahead.
kind of like when the door is back to the open position, just kind of look around the mechanism just to see that there's nothing that they missed.
You look it over and that's a great question, Kelsey. I didn't have you make a map because describe this without it needing a visual indicator. That's a failure on my part. My bad, guys. In hindsight, I realize this is a little complicated. In the future, I'll reach out to you. Audrey, Fontana looks over, and I'm going to use your passive treasure hunter experience here. You do not need to roll. Everything here is copacetic. That is not the word. Everything here is kosher. These are of the design and mechanisms and slight magical enchantment that you would expect to see in a building like this. There were plenty of secret doors and traps and such in ruins like these. And this is exactly... you don't see anything stand out.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So I will... what do I do here? Okay. I'm going to say that this is a really cool tutorial that, you guys can do whatever you want. And so I'll say we can move on to the next part of this game unless you guys feel like you something, which you definitely did.
I mean, it's very clear that we missed something here.
I will look at the statue, unless anyone else wants to do anything.
I am sitting in the corner, not touching anything.
Ashwin put himself his time out.
I did.
Womp womp. Audrey, Fontana goes over to the statue. It's made of stone. You look it over. You hope to see some kind of secret contraption or anything along those lines. See or sense anything out of line. Nothing helps you in the current context.
Cool. we're either missing something really obvious or it's like a chair moment from Critical Role where he's like, it's just a chair.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna throw out a hint. Let's see, because should I? I'll let you
No,
guys
is
do
there
things for a
anything that
little
you
while.
described that we first got, like that we forgot? Because you described the hieroglyphs, you described the statue, and the plank of wood. Is there anything else that you mentioned in your original description that we forgot about?
I'm gonna say no, but the hint I will throw out is that there is a larger space here than just the central chamber.
Okay.
Um,
Describe. Okay, we walk through like an archway into what is it, like a circular area where the statue and the hieroglyphs are?
I apologize. This is a very these are ruins. Clearly, there was once here lots of hallways and doors and rooms, but now because of how ruined it is, because of how much time and weather has ruined this place, it's very open. Um, very few instances are there really a like maybe like fenced off square, right? You're looking around here. Um, it's a lot of just like the ghosts of walls. There is half the space here is under a ceiling which has long since collapsed, very rectangular, held up by columns that are crumbling. Does that answer your question?
Hmm. I guess
I,
I go for it.
oh,
Man, I just realized everyone here uses a lot of the same verbiage. Like that's I think the fourth, fifth time I've basically said the exact same thing as someone else.
We all
Anyway,
have the same brain.
just a observation. Yeah, I'm gonna just comb through the rooms that may or may not have walls anymore, just to sightsee, basically.
I'll do the
Yeah,
same
you
thing.
look around. Okay. Um, a few of you go around and looking around. It's a lot of the same, hieroglyphs. That uh, yeah, I feel like a lot of you are looking around the space here outside of this central chamber. It's a lot of the same. As you go far out, the more ruin there is, with the exception of where sort of like the ceiling has not collapsed. There's a lot more there and held in place. You explore the space here. Um, you see a lot of hieroglyphs along the walls here. You know, uh, the Ankh, the sickle, sickle. There we go. I
Yep.
got
Good
it.
job. Good
The
job.
sickle. The eye. Not not a lot of beetles. Eventually, Fontaine, you're face to face to one of the beetles at the very back of the ruins here, against the one of the columns that are crumbling. Audrey, what does Fontana do in this moment?
Um, well, I'm gonna kind of invest, like look at it. Maybe I have some like treasure hunting tools to basically like check for traps, make sure if I'm gonna touch it, it's not gonna do anything stupid.
Sure. I like that. I'm gonna roll for you. Go ahead and tell me what I'm adding to this roll.
Um, I'll spend a hope to add treasure hunter to it, and if this is a knowledge roll, it'll be +1, so that's a +4 total.
Okay, I'm gonna add 4. I'm gonna tell
Just
you how you're feeling
needs to be
about it.
crit again.
Okay. Uh, you sort of like are looking it over, um, and you recognize that this is a button that you can press. It'll trigger a mechanism. There's only so much you can really explore here. Yeah, August, I also need to pee so bad. I will very quickly
that
go
was
through
a
this.
chat for a reason.
Sucks to suck. Hey, you make fun of me, I make fun of you. All right, that's how this deals. You look over, and this is very clearly a button. It's hard to tell what it will trigger, but you look around, and there's nothing that really sets off alarms like, oh, this. If I press this, something's going to shoot out of the wall or something. Unless
Okay,
something magical happens, operates in the chamber here, it's not going to be a trap.
Cool. Is this the only? I mean, we saw the other beetle one. Are those the only two beetle buttons? Can I scour the room real quick
This is the only.
to see if there's any more?
You scour the space, and for the sake of time, I'm going to say you won't roll. But you know, you're killer at this anyway. This is what you do. There are no other
my job.
beetles at all.
Okay. I'm gonna look to the group and say, "There's another button over here. I don't know what it does. I don't think it's gonna harm any of us, but brace yourselves anyway. And when y'all are ready, I'm gonna press it."
Press it.
Praise it.
All right. And
Yep.
she'll press it.
Okay. You press the button, and spikes launch out of the floor, and you all die. TPK. And that's where we're going to take a break. I'll see you guys at 9:22. Those of you who are on stream, I realize that there's going to be a bit of a delay, but just know that this is going to be a 10-minute. And I will see you guys soon. See you soon! Ah! Bye!
Bye. Chat, they don't know it. You can hear chat. Bye.
I'm so sorry. Alright, let's jump back into things. The group of you press this button and you all die horrible deaths because it's Friday the 13th. Haha. Just kidding. No TPK. Guys, you can at least pretend to be scared. Ugh, you guys are the worst.
I do also want to mention that I found a vodka mule in my fridge, so this is gonna get fun.
Alright. Love to hear it. Congratulations on the find, by the way. That's awesome.
Fucking sick. Here, should I open?
Do it.
Stream definitely could hear that, but I don't think you guys could.
No.
It's so messed up.
Sorry.
I feel so like neglected and hurt and deprived. I don't know if I can go on, guys. I think this is the end of the game. Ugh.
Oh no. Because Jacob couldn't hear me opening my beer.
What was that about in chat? I forgot to unmute the music.
So, since I mute Discord, we can't hear Kelsey's music through KenQ, so I usually put on music through YouTube, just as through the intermission, so it's not just dead silent. And I forgot to unmute the YouTube tab, so it's my fault.
Oh, I see.
So it was dead silent for like a good 10 minutes. Not 10 minutes, 7 minutes. The last like 2 minutes.
It's all good. It's all good.
They had some music.
Oopsie doopsie.
Oopsie poopsie.
All is well.
How very considerate of you.
I'm sorry, viewers.
I'm sorry, viewers.
Yeah, I think that's super cool.
Is it?
So anyway, you guys all died.
God.
But August, go ahead.
But we have gold on us, so we're. Oh, I was just saying, apologizing to Greg.
Oh yeah, the Grix.
Oh, sorry, Greg.
Sorry, Grix.
Yo.
No music for Grix. Sorry, guys.
The total team TPK transitioning into an undead zombie game would be actually kind of fire.
Writing that down.
Don't give him ideas, Joe. You know
The
better.
entire plot of the campaign shifts, and that
You fool.
happens.
You don't think I planned for total and utter miserable death?
We are the misfits.
Yeah, I'm just deleting pages of future plans, and then I'm just writing dead. Womp womp. So anyway, back to our very dead players. Press the button. Spikes actually don't pop out. I lied. me when I lie.
Me, when
here-
the DM whose entire thing is about telling us a story, lies.
Who would have seen it coming? I never do that, guys. I never lie. Shut up. Here
There's a
in
joke,
this
I know,
scene, shoot, what was I gonna say? Okay. Here we go. We're jumping in, guys. We're jumping in.
Okay.
Here in the scene, the crumbling walls of civilization around you, hieroglyphs of old story, a pillar holding up a ceiling that's caved in a long time ago. Here on this pillar, this column, those are two different things. This pillar, there is a single beetle. Take your hand and you push, Audrey, and Fontana hears the sound of stone gears rotating. A ball falls and rolls across a track. You hear clicks and switches before you watch as the sand in the center of the space here fall in a sort of line until eventually you realize that there is a square trapdoor that is opened under the sand and it's sort of like caved in. Sand is still pouring beads around the outline. You look down into darkness. Fontana, your heart beats. A place potentially unexplored for centuries. Well, that's not true. For decades. Audrey, what's Fontana doing this moment?
You all see there's this like adrenaline filled excitement that is like behind her eyes as she runs over and she stops looking to look down at the trapdoor. Can I see down into it at all?
You look down, you strain your eyes, and it is just pitch black.
I will light up a torch. And Shadow is kind of like wagging his tail a little excitedly. And she'll look at the group and say, "Well, are y'all coming?"
Right behind you.
Now, this seems to be quite an
go
interesting
ahead.
story to be made.
Quite
Ash, when
an
are you coming out of
interesting
timeout?
story indeed.
Okay, I guess so.
Better
Hey,
than you
Dad,
staying
you
up here
coming?
all by yourself. Exactly.
You jump
was
on
that?
down.
We were just asking
This
you
is
if you were
awesome.
coming.
Bruh.
What
There's a
happened?
giant hole in the ground. You want to come with us?
Yeah, I'm coming with. Sorry, I didn't think I think I just forgot to press my button to speak.
You're good, you're good.
I just imagine
Go
Daphne
ahead.
saying
Guys, I'm so
that
sorry.
in real life. Just like, I forgot to
You didn't realize. You're just like, huh?
Oh, sorry, I thought I was
Did I
speaking
say that
aloud
in my
this whole
head or
time.
out loud? We had the same thought.
I've spent way too much time around you all.
Alright, Jacob, go ahead.
Okay, can I? Okay, guys, I am speaking. I am speaking right now.
We need a talk
You know,
with
it's
a stick.
We really do.
Do we need to make
We'll
a raised
animate a
hand
talking
system?
The raised hands system.
For real. We will get into the rhythm of it. I'm feeling a little rusty. We'll jump into it. We'll talk about it later. The group of you get a sound off. You're excited. Let's see here. And I do apologize. I realized that I've never described that the group here does have two pets. We have a little monkey with a little dapper top hat. and we have a wolf, very, very big wolf, very solid black fur, and is also just kind of the best, just so you all are aware. The monkey, too. We're all big fans. The group of you jump down into the chamber. Audrey, you're first. Fontana sort of like lands down, shadow by your side. Your feet land into the
tie a rope
soft
too, 'cause
sand
I'm not
below.
dumb.
Great call. You tie the rope and you land, and you don't die from fall damage, thankfully. And you sort of like untie yourself, and you look around. You take the torch and you look up and around, and immediately you hear something stir in the darkness, a shifting of movement, the sound of metal clinking, chains potentially, sort of like go taut. You hear mumbling. You are immersed in darkness here. You have this torch with you. The darkness here is oppressive, but you hear it in front of you. The sound, the chains, something maybe speaking. What do you do?
Am I down here by myself at this moment, or is everyone with me?
Joe, did you jump down?
Slew would definitely be following her, yeah.
I'm going to make the assumption that all of you are down here. Someone says otherwise.
All right, I will. Blue say, you wouldn't happen to have any magic that would lighten up this room?
Depend. Can you say that without your voice cutting out?
We'll try this again. You wouldn't happen to have any spells to lighten up this room, now, would you?
Let's see. He's gonna take off his top hat, reach in, and pull out his cane. Which you blink and realize, wait, wasn't he holding his cane already? Don't worry about it. He's going to pull up his cane and kind of look through inscriptions what appear to be on the cane. And Jacob, for the purposes of lighting, can he just make a prestidigitation, like, orb of mini fire that's gonna hover over top of the group to give us light?
Yeah, you can create a little more light here. I'm going to have you roll to see. Like, this can range from having a torch to lighting up the whole room, depending on what you roll here. I'm going to say, I mean, it's a small space. Plot twist, or excuse me, spoilers. So I'm going to give this a DC 14 roll. This is a spellcast roll, which means your user present.
Yep. How about you just scale it to whatever the roll is? So just roll low, not much. Roll medium, decent bit. High, all of it.
Yes,
Thing, you know?
exactly. 14 or higher, you light up the whole room and will scale.
Alrighty. Just because I think this is gonna be important. Oh, I've already rolled. I can't call. Never mind. I was gonna want to add experience, but gotta learn these rules. Plus presence. That's going to be a 13.
Okay, I like it. You take this light of the small ball of fire and you raise it up into the center of the chamber, and you find yourselves what seems to be like an old jail cell. At the far end, where you guys are currently facing, there are 3 cells built into the wall. Lines of metal bars, sort of like go from floor to ceiling. In the very center cage, there is a creature and a corpse chained to the wall. The head is a black hyena. The individual is wearing sort of like this classic Egyptian robe, I would say, around the midsection. The equivalent of pants, I would say. Shirtless, total. He's packing. He's got abs.
Hell yeah.
Sort of like rotting, but still abs.
Fancy?
Abs are abs, honey.
Yes, this is fan service. Abs are abs. Yeah, he's so hot. Anyway.
Don't tempt me,
He's dead.
Jacob.
You know, and he speaks like corpse, and he speaks like corpse husband.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Deep pull, Joe. Deep pull. I like it. And the corpse here is sort of like trying to, with both hands, outreach towards the both of you, or excuse me, towards the group of you. But there's this chain around the creature's neck, or excuse me, a chain that attaches to the wall. The creature's just like struggling violently and can't escape. Additionally, there is a small, simple, rotted wooden door on your right against the cave, or not against, right next to the farthest. I realized you rolled 1 under the DC, which means there should be some darkness. So I'll say it's still like moody. Like you see everything you need to see, but it's like moody and a little dark, and there's some shadows.
You have to squint
But
a
you
little
pretty
bit.
much see everything. Yeah, exactly.
It fits with the aesthetic.
Couldn't agree more.
I
Nate, go ahead. Audrey, go ahead.
was just saying I'm gonna gingerly, carefully, keeping an eye out for traps, precarious footholds, etc. Just go a little bit closer to the jail cell just to see if I see anything else. Like if I recognize this man's clothing from a specific era, or like something I read, and see if there's anything else in the jail cells.
I like that a lot. Go ahead and roll me an intelligence check. I'm gonna scale this. I'm not gonna set a specific DC. I'm gonna vibe it.
Cool.
Just don't crit
I'll
on me,
spend,
please.
I re-rolled the dice several times, just like afterwards, after the 2 crits, just to make sure that they weren't rigged, and they're not rigged. They was just really stupid lucky.
Sure, Audrey. Say it. Whatever. I don't believe
I
you.
believe her.
How many years have you known me, Jacob? How many years? Anyway,
Gosh, a while.
5, close to 5. I'll spend a
And you've
hope
been
to
cheating
add
the whole
treasure hunter
time.
to
No, I'm
this.
fucking with you. Go ahead. Bet. Perfect.
Cool. That will be. I'm so sorry, I'm bad at math. 11 plus 4, 15, with hope.
This is a torn individual, a member of a society who has since collapsed, an undead. The symbol, sort of like a small gold pendant around where a belt would be, tells you that this individual comes from, I'm going to say, wealth. I'm going to say with a 15, it's below, like, kings and queens. So, like, a noble, right? A noble individual.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, cool. I thought I lost internet, but I didn't. You look around in the cage. You recognize that this is this is actually pretty cush compared to most prisons. Prisons within a torn society, they tend to be really cramped. There's a lot of space here. There's also a bed, or at least it's clear that there was a bed once here. There's sort of like the old frame of like wood here. Like it's not even like a shelf on the wall. Like this is what was once a bed frame. This person was well taken care of. You also recognize that at the center of the chest here, it's hard to tell until the light sort of was brought closer with your torch. There is sort of like this strange sigil here of like, I'm going to say like burnt flesh in the symbol of, I don't know, I'm going to say a complicated shape because I'm improvising this on the spot. But what I'm not improvising is that it's clear that this person has done something of cultural shame. The people of this culture has shamed this individual for some reason, so much so that they burned it and permanently marked him. And that's what you know.
Cool. There's more I want to do, but I'll let someone else do now. So if anyone else wants to do anything.
Slew is gonna look around the room and see if there is like any more hieroglyphs or any more like maybe there's something to note what this man has done, or anything of that note around.
You look at around, the walls are sparse. You look at the other cages, they're empty. In fact, they're unlocked as well. You can open and look around. You see nothing of note. There is just the door of the rotted wood there off to the side. Do you open it?
There's a what?
A door?
A door suspicious, guys.
Does it swing outward or inward?
Good question. You look at the hinges, and you can tell it swings toward you.
All right. I'm going to look back at everyone and kind of make a shooing motion with my hand to step out of the direct line of the door. And then when he goes to open the door, he's going to step back with it. So when the door opens, anything in the line of the door doesn't hit him.
I see. So you're kind of using the door as a shield.
Yeah.
You reach up, get on your tippy toes, and pull the handle, and you sort of like very quickly move backward along the trace of the opening of the door, and you like brace for something, and nothing happens.
First off, that's some major disrespect. At worst, I'm head level with the doorknob, unless these people were giants. So calm down there.
Yeah, I'm just being a dick.
Second, he's gonna look into the open room.
You look inside, and it is a very small closet. Several lines of shelves. There's a bunch of satchels along the walls here. Small wooden chests, and one large... I'm going to say crate. No, I'm going to say crate. One large crate off to the side on the floor, sort of like pushed into the corner. It is open and it's full of rusty knives. Joe, what does Slew do in response?
All right, so bunch of satchels, one crate with rusty knives, and was there more?
Small
wooden chests. They're sort of like the size of shoe boxes that are on the shelves here. They're open.
All right, he's gonna start looking through the satchels in that case.
Yeah, you sort of like dig your way through.
Carefully, be mine.
Yeah, one of them explodes in your face. No, okay.
It's more like carefully in the
time.
understanding of like ancient, like weathered
You don't want to break
parchment.
anything.
Like I don't want to. Yeah.
You look through. And a lot of them seem to be empty. One of them is very strange. You take a bag and you immediately, like, you shake it. There's gold in the bag, or excuse me, you haven't looked inside yet, but there's clearly something that feels like coins. And there is very clear in the center of this bag hieroglyphs. I'm gonna ask Nate, are you sort of like, are you in line of sight of this moment?
Sure. Let's go with yes.
That's
Go,
a
yes.
very confident
With
sure right there.
We'll go with yes.
with your passive, with your passive appraiser, you notice a glint to the stitching of the hieroglyphs. It's like made of yarn and stitched into the satchel here. That
Embroidered?
there's an enchantment on the hieroglyphs.
I'll kind of like walk up to him and like see if I can figure out what it means. Or like
Sure.
What do you have for me, gold seller?
do I roll?
This is going to be intelligence. This is a DC 30 roll.
Jesus. Well, I'm definitely adding
Holy.
my experience
30?
to that. Can I even get
This is a
30?
DC 30 roll.
You can crit.
You can crit. I will also say there is something about like learning, like looking at it and analyzing it over and over again. You can attempt this roll every time if you died, if you're like, if you can hold the bag, right? Every 24 hours, or at least I'll say like once a day. If you roll with hope, the DC goes down by 1. If you roll with fear, the DC goes up by 1.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what knowledge is. Why can I not read anything?
Yeah, what
Take
is
your time.
knowledge?
What? Yeah, what is knowledge?
Knowledge is just knowledge, I think.
I have agility,
Yeah,
strength,
it's
finesse,
agility,
instinct,
strength, finesse, instinct, present.
presence. Am I not? Oh, now. Oh, my
Presence
thing
is-
was too
or
small.
knowledge
I
is
found it. I found it.
or
I
right
found it.
here.
I found it. I found it. Okay. Okay. Oh, I just did not. Hold on. Okay. That's 23.
Is that with hope or with fear?
Ooh, that was a good question. That would be with fear.
Damn.
The DC is now 31
Lovely.
from now on. You trace your thumb across the stitching here, and your soul is doing something strange
Oh no.
that you've never encountered before. Reacting to the magic here. It's ancient, but vaguely familiar. You don't know why. You feel like you can suss it out over time, but you can't crack it anytime soon.
Don't use the word sus.
It's so sus.
Okay.
Nate, how does Ashwin respond to this?
I'm gonna just ask Slew if I can keep it. You can take the stuff that's inside. Just let me keep this.
Sure. There is one thing I'd like to try, though, before you do. And I've been meaning to try this quite a while with a magic item I might come across. And Slew given the unique nature of where his magic comes from, he's going to try to gain knowledge off of this thing through not any kind of knowledge or like theory he picked up. He's going to try and basically read the story of the magic through like a sense roll. He's going to try to learn the story of the magic itself.
Go ahead and roll me
Off of just like vibes, basically.
a DC 31 presence check for me.
Oh fuck, where I put my 12s? There it is. Ooh. I'm just making sure I have nothing to help with this. Nope, nothing I can think of. Oh, I mean, would this fall under my experience of under the surface? When I was making that experience, I was thinking of it as like trying to see into people and like under their facades, basically. So do you think that would count for it?
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna say that's a bit of a stretch because this isn't very people centered. Sorry.
Okay. Then yeah. With hope. That's going to be a 18. Yeah.
You take the satchel, and your thumb also sort of like traces the outline, the hieroglyphs here, and you close your eyes, and to you, when your soul, it's more of like this interpretive dance. You don't understand it as much. Feel it, and you feel this pain and this frustration. It feels alive, and you have no earthly idea what that means. Also, upon realizing how awful it would be if you guys kept rolling here, I'm going to say every time someone rolls for it. Now it's 28.
Okay.
I'm gonna, after feeling it, hand it back to him and say, "Oh, as much of an experience that was, I believe this is your story to unfurl. And I'd hate to steal the experience."
Thanks, I guess. He says as he takes it.
It was my pleasure.
Is there anything any of you would like to do before we move on to the next scene?
Oh yeah, check the rest of the chests.
Okay. Go ahead and give me. Hold on, let me pull up the number here.
Oh, also, there was gold in the satchel. How much gold was it?
You open the satchel and reach your hand in. As you do, you hear the sound of the zombie in the other room get wild and frustrated, sort of like toss his chains around. He just like, there's this frustration and agitation. You look inside and you three coins.
Do you want them, Slu?
I'm gonna take out the 3 gold and kind of dip my head back into the central room and call out to people. Hey, who's got the least amount of gold here?
Does-
probably me.
Does people want to say their gold?
How much do you have, Dad?
I think I
No, that's a
have.
great point, Mike. And he's just going to hand it to Daphne regardless.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and add 3 gold to your inventory. Joe, Sue takes the 3 gold and pulls out the gold, and sort of like puts it into the hand of Daphne. As you do, you hear a slump, and you look over, and the corpse has stopped moving and is fallen to the floor.
What the crap was that?
I mean, it's rather obvious, isn't it? Ran out of time. So I have
But
to
no one searched his
imagine there was
body.
Oh, no, I mean... I'm assuming that's what happens when... be advised, I don't know this for certain, but rich and fancy types tend to have a lot of gold, as one might understand. But they typically don't have much, if any, on them. I know that from experience of trekking in and looting some. So I'm assuming there's a way to stay connected to your gold, even when you're not holding it. And I'm pretty sure
I see.
the people with large amount of gold either can research and or learn the ways of how to do that. I don't know how to do that. This guy obviously, at least his captors knew.
All right. Well, assuming it's safe, and it's gonna enter the jail cell again, carefully looking for traps, making sure nothing's rigged or anything. She's gonna go in and just.
You keep your eye out. You look around. You go inside the cage, and you see nothing of note. You see the corpse
Anything?
there. You look over. There are no pockets. He's wearing a toga.
Mm-hmm. Is he wearing any
You look
jewelry or?
Good.
Is he wearing any jewelry or? Can I get a look at that sigil again and just like write it down in my journal?
You write down the sigil into your journal. You look over. I said that he was wearing like gold piece at the belt. You sort of like take it and feel around in your arm, in your fingers, and you realize it's fool's gold.
Mm.
It is not of value. I'll put it that way.
Gotcha. And I'll just do a lap around.
Thinking of,
And you said nothing in the jail cell was of note either.
You really search the place and you don't find anything of value.
Okay. Cool.
thinking about it, it's kind of an interesting dynamic where if in this land there's actual gold that's not like magically cursed, and then that's fool's gold, where anywhere else it would actually be like worth quite a bit, but because it's not actual like time gold, it's just called fool's gold because it's kind of useless to you.
Fair point.
That's fun. Canon.
I will say I will take the belt.
Yeah, of
Just so
course.
I can have something for my parents' museum. And, you know.
It certainly is not of value to many. It is value to your parents.
Yeah.
Is there anything any of you would like to do before I move on to the next chapter of the moment?
I'm good.
Okay. Nate, would you be so kind as to reduce my fear by 2? Because I'm going to spend some.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, if you can reduce it by 2. Your hearts sink. Kelsey, if we could play a little tense track for me. You
Gotcha.
hear voices. I appreciate it, Kelsey. Thank you so much. You hear voices. They're laughing
The voices.
and yelling. The voices. You hear the sound of horses. Maybe 3, 5, 7, 20. You hear the sound of wheels and wagons sort of like being pulled and spinning. Someone fires, and then suddenly there fires a pistol, and there's lots of yelling from above. August, what does Jesse do in this moment?
So we are still in the underground with the zombie, correct?
Correct.
I think that he would say, "Well, that sounds like trouble. Y'all get ready." And I don't necessarily think that we want to make our presence known yet. So he'll kind of just wait and see and be like, gesture everyone to keep quiet and like kind of see if they can overhear what's happening, like with the conversation that's arise.
I like it. If anyone, I would say only one person can roll, but anyone can help if they'd like. If someone could roll me a perception check to hear what's happening.
Who has the best perception?
What stat is that? That would be instinct?
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
instinct, yes.
I have a +2 instinct.
I have a plus
Oh,
2 as well.
would I also be able to add my days on a wire experience to this?
Yes.
Okay, so that'd be a +5 then.
Yeah, that's you.
So I'll roll. That is 20 with hope.
Great roll.
Thanks.
Above you hear the sounds of revelry and cries of something you eventually piece together. Posse. Laughing and throwing things together here. The sound of boxes falling. You hear the sound of the wagon eventually stopping. You overhear. There's like overlapping voices and tune and try to focus on one conversation. It's not easy. But you had to, at one point in your life, to survive. And you kick into that moment now. Let's see here. I don't know. Can I improvise two people talking to each other? Let's try. I'm going to say you sort of like tune into one. There's no fucking way he's... Oh, we're going to get him fucking... Right? There's sort of like a lot of that like hyping up, right? What do you think? How many seconds of this Gatling gun before Silas? And then someone else says, "I'll say three seconds." No way! It's got to be a second. Hell, if you think it's gonna be more than 1 second, oh, you got something coming. Yeah, put some gold on it then. 2 days, 3 days, and suddenly there's this betting war going off. Off to the side, you hear. It's a lot of that kind of conversation. You don't catch it particularly interesting. Someone over says they feel proud to be a part of the Vulture gang. So you quickly piece that together, and then you piece into an interesting conversation. Listen, you gotta fucking believe me, man. You can't kill Silas. You can't do it. Not with bullets. You're a fucking idiot. What are you talking about? We have a Gatling gun here. You see how many fucking men we have here? We have an army. That's one man. Listen to me. That is not a man. You can't kill him with bullets. You have to believe me. Listen, you are bringing down friends here. If you say one more fucking word, I'm putting a bullet between your forehead. And I'm pulling the trigger. Do you understand me, friend? Yeah. Oh, I get it. I'm sorry. Fucking asshole. As he walks off. August, how does Jesse react to this moment?
I think in kind of a hushed whisper to like the group, he'll say, "It's a goddamn vulture gang. They're trying to get Silas, guys. Do you say we join him?"
I mean, if they can kill him and we can take credit for it, that'll make it a whole lot easier.
I don't know if they like us all
One of
that
them
much.
saying,
We did
I don't
kill
think
a lot
they
of their
do.
people.
We killed a lot of their people.
one of them saying that we can't kill
We're not.
Sorry.
Silas with just a gun.
I'm sorry. I think I misheard you real quick. Did you say you want us to join those low down piece of shit vulture gang members? Cause I could have
Well, not join them,
sworn I
join them.
heard
Like
that.
like a troops, not a join them, like a we're in a line. thing.
Oh no,
I don't
I
do that.
completely understand that. I'm saying dealing with them in any way, shape, or form. I'm just confirming that is what we are discussing at the moment.
Hey, listen,
Yeah,
Slee,
yeah.
I don't like him. But if everything we've heard about Warren River is true, and believe me, I believe it, we can't take them on and him at the same time. Gotta make sure to at least play nice.
Well, hold on.
All right.
You said that.
That's what we're here
How
for.
about how about
You
our
said that
listeners did?
They
We
said that.
say around it. So,
Raise hand, raise hand.
ooh,
Go ahead.
Salute, go.
Now I understand that, and from the reputation alone, I understand that killing this man, spirit, whatever the hell he is gonna be a pain in the ass to say the least. All I'm saying is that maybe we wait for whatever interaction they're gonna have, whether they manage to gun him down or he stomps through them like cattle. I say we wait till whatever is gonna happen happens, and then we introduce ourselves by killing anyone who's left.
I like the way you think.
I like that plan. That sounds like a good plan.
All right, I feel that's understandable. I feel like that's something that should benefit this general populace. Gets rid of vultures either way, and we soften up our target before we have to deal with it.
Also, would test the theory if what Jesse says is true. He can't be killed with guns. We don't stand a chance.
Yeah, and then, see it right there, and then we get even like extra information on our here for target. So I'll say it's a win all around. Just to preface this, we're gonna have to lay low though and let them pass during this time though, so we might want to try to hide the entrance before any more of them find us.
I mean, one of us could go up there and close the trap door.
Without being seen?
Ooh,
Oh, salute.
I can help
What
with
about the
that.
monkey?
You're nice and smart.
I can try.
Oh no, I was thinking more along the facts of I could just turn someone invisible, but
Oh, that works.
Right.
Yeah, let's
we
do
just
that
have
plan.
we just have someone who can climb up that rope real quick, stealthy like, press the button, then just drop back down.
A book table
Well,
is
I
better.
could probably do that.
Go for it, Dad.
What's your agility?
My agility's +3.
Oh, slay. Go for it.
Damn.
I have a +2 to agility, a +3 for experience I could use.
Kelsey, you have
Now, after-
acrobat, if I'm not mistaken, so you would also be able to experience.
Okay.
And
Yeah, if there's
I'd
one
like
woman
Kelsey
I-
to have more input.
Yeah. If there's one woman I trust on a rope, it's gonna be It's gonna be Daphne here.
Fair enough.
All right, Joe, you walk up to Daphne. Do you cast a spell?
Yep. Here we go. I gotta make a spell casting roll. Ooh. Yeah, with hope. Yeah, that's like 16. So yeah, that makes the spellcasting roll 10. Mark of stress, and an ally within melee range becomes invisible. Visible creature can't be seen except through magical means, and attack rolls against them are a disadvantage. Place a number of tokens on the card equal to your spellcasting trait. When the invisible creature takes an action, spend a token. After the action, tokens. Okay. Yeah, you have 3 checks basically to get up there, press the button, and get down before the invisibility ends.
Okay. I think I understand.
Okay. Kelsey, Daphne sort of like takes a moment here. Sloop puts a hand. You both like hold hands in before an invisible cloak wraps
I'm
around.
gonna take
you.
her
Daphne,
hand and
go
lay
ahead.
a kiss on it. Sorry, I just
And
wanted to say
stemming
that I
from
take
the
her hand
kiss.
and lay a kiss on it.
I love it. I love it. You kiss the hand. An invisible cloak wraps around you, Daphne, and you are the naked eye. Would you like to climb up the rope?
Yeah.
Okay. You're good enough to where you don't need to roll, but that does count as so that you've got 2 more. You make it over. You are now outside. You can look around and you notice that there are certainly people here, but you are sort of like pushed. This sort of like where the doorway is pushed into a corner of the room. There's sort of like a right angle hallway. Ah, goodness gracious. How do I put this? There are 2 walls with a right angle and sort of like hiding where the door is from the rest of the group, from the Vulture Gang. You can hear them. You don't even see the way. You've got the button right next to you. Kelsey, what does Daphne do?
Ooh. So, like, do I want to like, is my goal just to, like, try and sneak past them, or am I just, like, pressing the button immediately?
That's totally your
I believe
call.
our... Yeah. You know what? Won't say anything. Do what you think is best.
I think I'm gonna... I mean, like, if they can't see me, well, eh. I think I'm gonna try and, like, get a little bit closer.
You are invisible, and these individual group aren't particularly perceptive, and are also maybe a little bit distracted. You walk over, and you don't seem to. It's not difficult to stay hidden as an invisible creature. You see revelry and drinks and guns, lots and lots of guns. There's sort of like a brigade here, a small army of these gangsters, cowboys, and the cowboy hats and spurs. Each of them are wearing sort of a bone of a small bone somewhere on their body, a lot of which just kind of attached to a belt loop, some of them ring. There is a wagon, and on top there's a big ass Gatling gun, and they're all sort of like forming this big wall of firearm people. It is clearly disorganized. These guys smell really bad. They have not showered. Kelsey, what does Daphne do in this moment?
I think I'm close enough now where I can press the button.
You turn around, you get to the pillar, and you press the button. The trapdoor closes a lot faster than you think it would. What do you do?
I'm just gonna sprint.
Awesome. Go ahead and make me a DC 16 agility check.
Does my deft maneuvers, it says I can mark a stress to sprint anywhere, well, within far range. I don't know if that
Yes.
could work.
Yeah, that totally works. Yeah, go ahead and mark a stress, and you get there immediately.
Cool.
You sort of like push your body to its limits, and you do this like last roll before the trapdoor shuts violently, and you sort of like roll into the room. A bit of a fall. And the group of you are there, alone in the room. Your hearts beat, waiting for what happens next. Kelsey, we can cut the music at this point. You wait. 10, 15 minutes. Do any of you do anything, or do you let scenes play out?
I'm being patient. I want to see how this plays out.
I'll pet
I think
Shadow
that the
in
only
comfort.
thing that Jesse would be doing, like, while he waits. Oh.
I'm sorry. So we're going to do this one at a time. August 1st, then Nate.
I think the only thing that Jesse would be doing in this moment would be gripping his necklace and kind of like muttering, repeating to himself that like the woman he spoke to earlier in the dream believes in him and that he's hoping that he's making the right choice.
Beautiful. Nate, what are you doing in this moment?
Ashwin's just gonna be petting Shadow, trying to stay calm because he's about to have a panic attack.
Tana will help him calm
Uh,
down a bit too. Just, be a comforting presence as best she can.
You're all a moment here. You wait in silence. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour before the revelry and the cries and the laughter. Joe, go ahead.
Sorry, I was actually talking, but then I realized I was muted. My bad.
All good.
Slew, feeling the tension, would first off step away from the hatch, just so no sound can travel. Go into the cell. I believe you said it was more lavish type. Probably has like cushions and stuff, and like bring them out and kind of circle them around.
There wasn't before, but there is now. Canon.
All right. And kind of using his experience as like someone who's used to coordinating, set up a rotation where every, let's say, 30 minutes, someone's going to stand by the door and listen, make sure no one's like knocking on the hatch or like getting close to it. And then 30 minutes later, they're going to rotate out with someone. And then they're going to rotate it out with someone else, like on a 30-minute rotation. And then during those times, Slew is going to be back there just telling stories to try to lessen tension on people.
Slew, give me a performance check.
All right, now this I can definitely add experience to for true storytelling. And then can I also add a dazzling performance for this?
Yes, you can.
But and yeah, it doesn't say I can activate it. Can I, because the story are just impressive lies, can I add a deft deceiver to spend a hope to gain advantage on, to deceive or trick someone into believing a lie? To just make the stories seem more accurate.
You know what? I fuck with that logic. Yeah, go ahead. That's awesome. That fits the situation.
All right.
You can add a d6 to this roll.
Yep. With fear, sadly, but that's going to be 15, 24.
Okay, go ahead and give me a fear. Okay, you already did it. Wow, you're on it. With the 24, you take this moment and spin a tale. It is something adventurous, but also lighthearted. And you're able to distract your new friends.
And then this will trigger rousing speech, where once per long rest I can give a heartfelt, inspiring speech, and all allies within far range clear 2 stress.
Well,
Rad.
friends,
Slay.
all of you are calmed with this rousing story and clear 2 stress. You rolled with fear, and that means I have to do something to this situation. What do I do?
You can
don't
just
have to do anything.
You don't have to do that. All I'm saying is, by essence of gaining a fear, that just means that something bad will happen to us later on.
I know. They changed the rule, so I gain a fear and also some. I can't think of anything, so nothing bad's gonna happen right now. Okay. This is a dick move, but okay, I'm gonna do it anyway, just very quickly. Slew, you smell the smell of the corpse, and it starts to like waft into the room because there's no air circulation. It sort of just like stays there, and Slew, it just hits you hard. Take a stress. I'm sorry.
No,
I am bound by the
that's fair.
rules. It's a bad smell.
You're bound by shit.
Yeah, that's
Let
true.
me point
I just
to
like
you,
to fuck with you.
the whole like creation of this story platform was DM controls all.
DM does not control all. You guys regularly surprise me, and it's beautiful. And an hour goes by, and you're keeping watch. I'll just make things a little quicker. August, go ahead and roll me another perception. So you're on perception duty at this moment.
Okay. Um, I do I still get my hope added or my experience added or no? Unless I spend another hope.
You can spend hope again to add experience to this.
I will.
Okay.
So that is 16.
With
Hope.
beautiful. Okay. A story is told. The smell of a corpse lingers in the room. The magical light, as well as the torchlight, there's these dancing flames that create these moving shadows along the wall. And Jesse, you close your eyes, and the revelry stops suddenly. You hear the sound of guns being cocked and raised, There is no sound to guns being raised, but you hear the sound of the what you assume to be the Gatling gun, the barrel sort of spin, and a voice rings out. There's this sort of like heavy bass that radiates through the room. It's kind of like being at a concert and you can feel your rib cage rattle with the bass. This voice sort of speaks out into the entirety of the scene. All of you can hear it. Well, now, if it isn't a party, if it isn't my new friends. Now, as much as I appreciate the new company, I would like to ask a very simple question for you. Where's Julie? Because I was hoping he was going to be here today, and I look around, Julie isn't here. And that is very strange, because I had some very trusted information to tell me he was going to be. Now, I do believe that all of you... Now, would I be correct in that statement? Nothing responds. Not a fly, not a pen drop, not a moment, not a breeze. Nothing responds to him. Is there something wrong with my voice? Do you not hear me? Where
No,
is
you
Julius?
keep cutting out.
Do I really?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
had I
Dude, are
had
you kidding me?
information that
That's
he's
awesome.
going to be here. You cut out. Am I correct here?
Yeah, it's true. That is exactly what happened.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. I was constantly thinking, ironically, this is really accurate to what would be hearing if you were underground, like listening in on a conversation.
So
Yep.
real.
Yep.
Fuck it, canon. There's nothing I can do. That hurts me so hard. I guess I'll continue and hope my internet loves me.
He says as he cuts out.
Are you kidding me? I'm gonna cry.
Maybe to help a tiny bit to close the whiteboard because it's still open.
I did. You two other people have it open. It's not my. That's not me. I don't know what to do.
Just keep
You don't
going.
have
You're doing
most of
great.
it.
Go.
Just keep going. Keep going.
Okay. I'm gonna keep going. If I cut out, sucks to suck. That's just information you lose. Because you're
Okay.
underground.
It is. I do find it semi-hilarious that this entire conversation, where you talk in normal voice, I caught all of that. There was no stuttering. There's no nothing. Second, you go like country every third sentence.
The Wi-Fi hates Westerns. Oh, that's what it is. They hate the accent.
Sorry, Jacob.
All right. All right, moving on. It's okay. That's life, and we're gonna have to take the L. And you know what? It's funny. So I'm taking the L. The voice booms, but it is muffled with the due to you guys being underground, and you're only able to catch so much. Where the hell is Julius? Do I have to ask the third time? A member from the crowd responds, "He's not here, idiot. You missed him. And now you're gonna die." And Silas responds, "Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm gonna die." Now, isn't that funny? Do you see my face? Or I'm so sorry. Should I say the lack thereof? I am a corpse. I am already dead. You cannot kill a man who is already dead. Now I'll let you on a little secret, friends, because you deserve to know. You all are already dead. Now you may believe that you have air in you. You may believe that you have gold in your pocket. You may believe you have lives to be lived, but I'm telling you, you don't. This is Ashwall. The gold is running out. It leaves your pockets every day. You're already dead, man. You're on timer. And your time is running out. Every single one of you. Everyone in this damn temple. In the oasis, every city in Ashwall are dead. And I'm sick of all of you pretending like Ashwall is a rabid dog. And I'm here to put it down. Now, Julius knows where my fortune is. And that's a problem. Because that's going to get in the way of my mission. My goal. Now, who wants to tell me where he is? Or do you all still believe you're alive? And nothing responds. Alright. I see. Well, I'm gonna kill all of you. My friends are gonna tear you to shreds. I'm gonna put bullets in your brains. There will be screaming. You all think you have the advantage, but you don't. And I'm gonna give you the opportunity now, right here, right now, to raise your hand outstretched to me so that I may shake your hand, so you can thank me for putting you out of your misery. None of you have any time left. And what I'm doing for you today is a service. There is no point. There is no Ashwall. Just dead men. You can hear a pin drop. Nothing responds. The silence is deafening. And then you hear a chuckle. And the outfit, the vultures, they laugh and they laugh. Alright then, man. Put your money where your mouth is. Alright, boys. And he's sort of like... None of you see this, but I'm going to describe it anyway. The man points a finger. And bullets rain hell. You all hear sound, gunfire. And it keeps going. And going. Before you hear their screams. You hear fire. You hear undead screaming and rattling. And then in about 30 seconds, there is no movement. There is no sound. Your heart stops. There is nothing. Audrey, how long does Fontana wait before she moves?
Well, I will say they hear the explosion of bullets, and instinctively she just kind of like grabs onto Shadow's fur as like a comfort defense mechanism thing.
Sure.
She will probably wait a good 15 or 20 minutes and listen really hard and Shadow will as well. See if there's any movement from Silas. She thinks it's safe. She'll approach the entrance to the trapdoor.
I'm gonna roll for you. What am I adding to the perception?
Do I will say
This is
can
instinct.
It's instinct. Can I have can you be rolling for Shadow and you add a +2 because he has the experience keen senses? And can I help by giving him advantage?
Gosh, I wish I had made a decision. But here's my decision. When you make an action, when Shadow makes an action, that is you telling Shadow what to do most of the time. So you can't help yourself. So you can't give Shadow advantage here. But you get to roll agility instead of instinct, because that's how having pets work. It's kind of a spellcast roll. And you can spend a hope to use Shadow's experience in this moment.
Cool.
What am I adding to this roll?
A +5. 3 for my agility, 2 for his keen senses.
Wonderful. A +5. You listen out. You hear the roaring crackling of like a small flame. And nothing. Fontana, after 10, 15 minutes, do you leave?
Well, can we leave? Because the trap door's shut.
You walk up to it. You take your fingers. It's not budging.
Cool. I'm gonna look around for another beetle button. See if there's one on this end.
Go ahead and roll me a instinct or knowledge check. Your choice.
That's gonna be knowledge.
This is going to be DC 15. If you succeed, a button exists where I have not written one. If you fail, then the button does not exist.
Yeah, that's a real fail. That's a 3 or 4
With?
with fear.
Oh, awesome. I love fear. Go ahead and add me a fear, if you don't mind. Let's see, you look around the room and you cannot find a beetle. And then suddenly you hear a banging against the trapdoor. Pound. 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 August, what does Jesse do?
Oh. So I don't know. He grabs his gun. He doesn't shoot, but he will just brace himself for what's about to happen.
Is anyone doing anything other than bracing?
Can I hide?
I'm gonna frantically scan to see if there's any place to hide, any way that the wall's gonna be broken in so Shadow can start digging a tunnel. Like she is looking for any means of escape necessary.
Okay, it's a go ahead and roll again.
Oh, I know something. Just so I'm understanding, the trap door, like, when it opens, you fall directly down. And it's not like an incline or whatever, it's like just basically a drop.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, I'm gonna get the help of someone strong, and we're gonna push the box of rusty daggers to directly below the trapdoor.
Oh, you're so smart. Yeah. I'm
I love it. You
Oh my
good.
gosh,
You maneuver yourself around. You and quick. Can I get a volunteer?
Me.
Okay. Let's see. Oh my goodness gracious, Slew, Jesse. You take the big box of rusty daggers and you pull and you push and you hear slam, slam, slam against the trap door, and eventually the slam stops before you can get it under. There is a fraction of a second. Do you finish pushing, or do you hesitate?
Finish pushing.
I guess we full commit.
Look at it.
You keep pushing, and it is under, and you wait with bated breath. You hold, you take your weapons, and you're ready. Until the ceiling collapses. And that's where we're going to end our game.
You're joking.
Oh, and Audrey's not gonna be here next time.
No, I'll be here next time.
Womp womp.
Will you?
Yeah, as at least as of now, I don't have rehearsal that day.
Okay. Cool.
Hell yeah. We'll actually have the
Yeah, we're gonna
full
have
group,
everybody
so we
for it.
might stand a chance.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, can I ask?
For real.
I have to know. I have to know. How much did I cut off after you guys told me that I was cutting off?
None.
Still a bit.
Not much. Yeah.
Oh,
It was still a bit. but-
thank
How
you.
much? But like it would
Okay.
stop and then it would like catch up with itself,
Yeah.
so it was better.
Okay, great. You didn't miss much.
We got the important stuff.
Yeah.
I'll watch it back and cringe.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
It was-
guys,
it
but
was
that's
so-
the L.
Yeah, it was specifically hilarious for me because whenever you were trying to say Julius, you would cut off immediately before you finished the name. So all
Yeah.
I kept hearing was, "And bring me Jewel." I'm like, "Who's
Yeah.
Jewel?"
Yeah.
I was like, Jewel, Jude, what? Who?
This man, get this
was
man
like,
his
why did you
vape.
say
Come
that?
on.
That is
Like Jewel, question mark.
I think that's really funny that like there's like a name and it's clearly important, but you're only getting half the name. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There, at least in
Hey,
this context, there
there's
was a canon reason.
That's a TikTok clip. August, Jacob.
I hope not.
No, I'm gonna make a compilation of us speaking over each other in this. 'Cause
No!
that's funny.
Yeah,
Yes.
you need to make 2 compilations of us speaking over each other, and then of us having an awkwardly long quiet before talking, and then
And then
immediately
talking
saying
over
the exact same thing over each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh god. That was awesome.
And then just like a 10-second clip of all of us saying the exact same thing, like several times over.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Amazing. Okay, that was fun. Yeah, I had a great time. I can't wait to do this again next Wednesday. I will see you all then. Is there anything else before we sign off?
I forgot
I don't
to
think
put
so.
the new stream.
Whatever you do,
but I will.
look at the whiteboard.
Don't look.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
look at the whiteboard.
Oh, now we have to look at the whiteboard.
Ooh.
No, no one else is seeing.
I was thinking of what we should have like what we should do for our outro, because we're working with an intro though here, and you said something earlier that reminded me of Harry Potter. So now all I have is Misfits Manage.
All right, guys.
Oh. That's good.
Consider our misfits managed.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Well,
$18th. Cool. Yippee. They can't hear you. They can only hear me.